I shared these PDFs with you guys, so I would advise that you pick it up and you download it and you read it after the class. It's very, very nice PDF. It was designed by a product designer, one of the veterans product designers out there. I follow him a lot, and every of his books that I've seen, I always try to lay my hands on them. They are very nice. They are practical. That's one of the reasons why I actually get his books. You guys can follow his social medias also. If you open the PDFs and you read through, you will see his handles there. Follow him and you would always learn from his post and every other thing. So today we are learning from this from one of his PDFs I shared publicly for free, and we'll be learning some UI concepts from it. Let's begin. So as we all know, you guys have tried out some UI designs already, and you are also been able to create some designs on your own. But these tips here, or these concepts that will be discussed here today, would help you move your design from ordinary to basically extraordinary. Now, if we are doing a carousel is a design that has more images that are not seen. Let's say you can see this image right now, and there are other images hidden. Instead of using these lines, oh crap! I wish I could actually zoom. Let me quickly switch my app and zoom in more so that I can see my screen better. Let me do that. This is too tiny. Let me zoom in my screen better. That way it should, we'll be able to see what I'm saying much better. Someone is unmuted. Who is that? Getting the feedback from my microphone here. Please, let's all mute our mics. Let the sound be coming from one source. Thank you. All right, let's confirm if you can see the screen better now. Just drop a message for me in the chat room if you can see the screen better. Are we good? All right, okay, let's go. So the carousel dots actually is still being used a lot. In fact, I still used it in my last design, but the best time to use the carousel dots is basically when you are designing for, let's say, an onboarding screen. But I have always tried to not use the carousel dots, and instead of the carousel dots, I would use I'll use lines instead. The lines are much more pronounced than the carousel dots. These are the carousel dots, showing that we have two more images that you can flip through. Instead of that, if you are designing inside of a design, you can just use this. You can use tabs instead. You can use tabs instead. This will make sense eventually when we do the design along tomorrow. So you can use tabs instead. So this is the first image. The second, when you click on this, it switch over to the second image, and this image here comes into the forefront, and this one is now seen as a past image. Then you can have more tabs and you can switch in between them. That's for the carousel if you are working on that. And this one also, when you are working on creating an account, like a form field for creating an account, saying nests most times does not really speak to the action of what you are trying to do. You are trying to create an account, so naming the button create account makes better sense. Please, if I'm too fast or you're not getting me, just drop a message. I am monitoring the message box so I can easily just roll back a bit for you. So these are just design tips that I am giving now. Eventually tomorrow, when I will do design along, you would get to understand the design tips very well. Now, in this design tips, it's talking about hierarchy. This design tips here is talking about hierarchy and getting to and identifying your buttons better. Now, based on what we have designed, discussed on UI, that's on UI, that's user interface. Can someone unmute their mic and tell me what is wrong with this? Can someone else unmute their mic or raise your hand if you are willing to tell me what is wrong here right now and what can be changed here to make this much more.
Good
All right,
evening, sir.
Zainab.
Okay, so we have two action buttons, which are the cancel and the OK buttons.
Yes.
So I felt like the cancel button should be probably maybe in a parent button, like a non-field button, rather than the field.
Yeah, okay, nice one. Yes, nice one, Zainab. You actually got the point there. Now, these two buttons are competing for attention. Meanwhile, the OK button should be the primary button. The OK button is the primary button, and the cancel button is the secondary button. So automatically, the cancel button is supposed to either grayed out, is either it is grayed out or it is turned into a ghost button. It's that it is grayed out or it is turned into a ghost button. That will make the OK button much more pronounced. Let me scroll down and let's see it here. Now, look at it now. This one speaks much more better. So even instead of OK now, it now says clear history because we're talking about clearing browser history. And it also shows that when you clear this history, you cannot undo it. So it comes with a much more pronounced color, which is red. Now, even if you have not been paying attention as you are moving through this kind of app, when you see something that is red, it gets our attention immediately. Like, okay, damn, this wants me to make a decision, and my decision is irreversible. So you can see that this other one is grayed out. It is grayed out. It can be used as ghost button or it can be grayed out like this. Nice one, nice catch there, Zainab. Let's look at the next one. We will be doing all of this together. Now, look at this now. The hierarchy here is not well arranged. Now, if you'll be fixing this, someone can unmute their mic to tell me, how will you fix this? Looking at this, how will you fix this?
Can I go, sir?
Yes, please, Ifeoluwa.
Okay, so I feel the important information should be like a more bold color, like should be more bold.
Okay, that's the header text here.
The other text,
is bold.
is too light.
Okay, yes, you are actually right. Yes, it should carry a much more heavy font. That way it comes out, we know that, okay, there's something for us to read here. And this also can still, the opacity of this one can be increased a bit so that we can better see it. Let's see. Now, can we see now? This is more bold. That means a regular bold a regular or a semi-bold or a bold character is used here for better readability and accessibility. Nice catch there, Ife. Let's move to the next one. Okay, now we have two types of icons here. One is filled, one is empty. Now, when we are in this kind of situation, let's say we are looking for icons to use, and eventually we notice that we could not find some icons that are filled, like some icons are filled and some are empty, and the ones that we want to use are the empty ones are amongst that. It's better you choose to use either empty all true or filled all true. The only time filled and empty are allowed is maybe you are trying to identify a selected object that, okay, this is selected, this is not selected. That's why this one is filled and this one is empty. But for icon sets, either go empty or go filled. Like always make sure that your icon sets are the same across board. Now, let's look at this. We are trying to, we have a button here. What is wrong with this button and how will you fix this button? Who can tell us that?
There are no much white space in between the button.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
the sideways. There are no much space.
Yes, we have little or no white space. In fact, there is zero white space on the sides. Now, who can tell us what white space is? Not Zainab this time. Who can tell us what white space is? Like, what do you understand by the word white space?
I'll say margin. The margin around the text.
Margin. Nice one there, Lois. I think that was Lois, right?
Yes,
Nice
sir.
one there, Lois. Yeah, you are right. But instead of calling it margin, I would rather prefer we call it padding. Let's call it padding. Like white space now is the padding around a text or an object or an image. The padding that is the spacing added for us to identify such image or such object or such text, just to better verify it. Now let's look at this closely and let's see the corrected version. Can you see that now? We have at 2 times of the space that is up here. Let's say the space from top to bottom is 4 here, 4 here. Now you will have 2 times of it, 8. So that way it will be much more rectangular. Do you get what I mean? That you have 2 times of the spacing you have on top and at the bottom. If you have 2 on top and 2 at the bottom, make sure that you have 2 times of it to the left and 2 times of it to the right. So that means we have 8 to the left, 8 to the right. If you have 8 at the top, 8 at the bottom, you have 16 to the left, 16 to the right. Does that make sense? You can just drop a chat in the chat room if you get that. All right. Okay. Glad that I have people following me. Please, if your mic is not muted and you're not telling me anything, kindly mute your mic. Kindly mute your mic, please, so that we can have a single voice going into the recording. Okay, next one. Now, this one is like a form field. So how do we fix this? Based on what we can see here, how do we fix this? So we have some compulsory field and we have an optional field. So how do we fix this? Instead of we using the red asterisk, if we don't use the red asterisks, what other thing can we use? Anybody wants to go? Okay, Taufika, you can unmute yourself. Where should we place the optional? Should we place the optional? Like where should we place the optional, or how should we place it? Should we just write it out?
The optional should be placed where is not on the field that is not important. Like that city, since it's not important, you can put optional there. And the other
Okay.
that have red asterisk, then we don't have to put the birthday.
Okay. Yes. Tafika is right. Now, that way, in every form that we fill, most of the information are always important. Like 90% of the form field are important for us to fill. So only about 10% is optional. So that way, we can also use that here now. Since just 10% is optional, so we can just fill out the ones that are optional and put in parentheses, that's in brackets, in front of those ones saying optional. Let's say we have 3 optional form field now. And the rest that are compulsory, leave them like that. So at the point of clicking on create account, if you have not filled the compulsory ones, it would be, the form field will be highlighted red. We will actually put this into practice tomorrow when we are doing the design along. Based on what Tafika said, optional was placed there, and now we have no red saying making it look like there is danger at if we do not do something here. There's no red on our screen again. Everything looks almost perfect. So let's move to the next one. Okay, who will go for this? How best can we arrange this form field? Does Mary raise her hand? Do you want to answer that, Mary?
Good evening, sir. No, I
Good
have a
evening, Mary.
question. I have a
You have a
question.
question? Shoot.
Yes, for the previous slide. Okay,
Okay.
I see that as red asterisk, it makes it reminds the personnel that what you're doing is important and you need to fill those forms. Without it, most of the forms, I noticed that in my own experience.
Mary.
Without that, some things I want to leave them makes you want to do. So why do you say it's not
Now,
I don't know, it's
I
not so
offered an alternative when I said it. Yes, the red asterisk is important. Like, it has been part of UI design for a very long time. But right now, we are doing away with the red asterisk, and instead, this form field, like the outline of the form field, is what will be changed to red. So once you skip, let's say email is important now, you now skip email and move to CT. Automatically, this form this form field here turns to red, telling you go back there, fill it up. That is much more pronounced than a red asterisk.
okay. I understand now. Thank you.
You get that now, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Okay, so who wants to go for tip number 8? Who wants to help us arrange this better? Now, this form has multi-column. How best can we arrange it? Gladys, shoot. Oh, I saw Gladys' hand first.
I think we should arrange it in a way that the names come first, then the email, and then the password. And then it shouldn't be put like that.
Okay, so it should not be gridded like this, and first name,
Yes.
last name, email, password. That should be the arrangement.
Yes.
So that means
Yes.
it will all be arranged vertically and not horizontal like this, side by side. All right, let's see this. Yeah, perfect. Horizontal arrangement wins all the time. And now, form fields are being compressed now. Like, we humans, we are lazy by default. Like, we do not want to spend a whole lot of time filling out forms. So we prefer to have to do the smallest piece of work and get the job done. So instead of having a 4-5 form field, try and minimize your form field to be 3. Look at this now. We have just email, name, password, create account. So before, whereby we have first name, last name, phone number, email, state of origin, local government, country of origin, and all of that. Nah, these 3 are the basic ones. Now, eventually, when the user onboards onto your platform, you can now ask the user to fill out a profile. giving you every other information that you want, blood type, genotype, and all of that. Anything that you now want, you can ask it when you are filling up the profile. But for someone to create an account, it's easier when you just have a 3-form field like this, like a simple three-form field like this does the trick. And you will get the name, you will get the email, you get the password. Person can log in with the email and the password later. And everyone is happy. So let's move to the next tip. Now, this tip is about spacing. Can you look at this now? The space between your form and email is the same space between the form field and first name, and between first name and the form field. Like, everything looks clumsy. How can we best arrange this? Now, whoever wants to go can raise their hand, and I would call the first hand I see. Going one, going twice. No hands yet. Or is there any messages? No messages yet also. Nobody feels like they know how we can best arrange this. Nah, come on. You are designers already. Okay, Zainab, you're the first. Let's have it. Zainab, unmute yourself and shoot.
All right, sir. So for the form field, I feel like there should be space, at least minimum of 12 pixels should be in between the header then to the let's say subheading for the form fields. So they should be uniform as well. If you are using 12 pixels for the space between email and your form, that should be accurate to that of the first name. Then so consequently like that, sir.
Okay, yeah, nice one, Zainab. Yes, you actually nailed it on the head. But now, spacing is not static. It can be dynamic. Like, spacing depends on how you have been creating your spacing all along in your design. Now, you mentioned 12 pixels. Yes, 12 pixels is actually perfect. Like, it's perfect to use the increment of 4. Like, use the increment of 4. Now, she used 12 pixels. Now, since you have used 12 pixels between your form and email, then between email and the form field itself, that is the rectangular form field itself, you can now have 4 there. So that way, we have 4 between email and the form field, and between your form and email, we have 12. Now, between the email, the form field, and the first name, we can now have 8 there. You see what I just did there now? The increment of 4. Don't worry, I will show this to you when we are working tomorrow on the design along task. When I do mine, you also do yours, and we see how best it looks. Let's see what they did here. Look at it now. Okay, you see now between 4 and 6 pixels. They decided to use 4 and 6 pixels. Okay, you see that between 4 and 6 pixels, and here between 2 to 3. Like, there's an increment here. There's an increment here. He used the increment of 2 here, but I prefer to use the increment of 4. That better space out your work. That's what I use. I use the increment of 4, nothing less than 4 pixels, especially when I'm on mobile. Nothing less than 4 pixels, because I don't want everything cramped together eventually when I'm exporting my work, or when the designers or when the developers pick up my work. Increment of 4 saves your life, and it saves you from calculating too much, or from feeling like it helps you differentiate every item even from a distance. So let's move to the next one, tip 10. Yeah, underline field. It can be confusing. It can be very, very confusing. When you use a form field that is just underlined, can you see now? It is confusing. You do not know if you have to enter the data underneath of it or inside of it. Like, is this the inside? Is this the label? Is this the, like, it's a bit confusing. And as we have agreed, users do not like to think. Like, as a UI UX designer or as a product designer, Our job is to make sure that we do not make our end users think. They do not have to think. They should just see it and understand at the go. Let's see a better design now. Look at this. A rectangular form field wins any day, anytime, because it gives you the room for the label. This is the label here. You can have your label, and also you can have an example inside of it. So you can have your label as email, and here you can have example@email.com. You can have your label as name. You can have John Doe here. You can have your label as password, and you can have asterisk, 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 asterisk here. Do we get that? Just give me thumbs up in the chat room if we get that, then I'll move on to the next one. So tip 11. Yeah. Now, this is about no thumbs up. Oh, we not get that. Okay. One person, two. All right. I thought I would not receive any thumbs up. I was wondering if what I just said did not make sense, but thank you for letting me know it made sense. So look at this now. The message is saying account creation failed. But can someone tell me what is wrong here? Like something is terribly wrong here. Mary, shoot.
Okay, it's saying account creation field, but the icon there is showing a marked good sign, which is quite deceiving, because if it was like an X will show that, oh, this is being cancelled, but a good is showing that this has gone, but this is the message is contrasting, like they're clashing against each other.
Thank you, Mary. You are 100% correct. Zainab has an addition. Okay, before I added mine, let me allow Zainab to add to it. Zainab, shoot.
All right, so I feel it's kind of something like danger. So I feel the try again should also be underlined probably in red color, or the text should be red color. Just my.
You are right. You are right. You are both right. Both Zainab and Mary, you hit the nail on the head. The final thing that you do not add is that, okay, Mary said this should be X. Yes, if this is X, then this also should be red. Should be a variant of red and not green. This green is throwing everybody off balance already, because it's saying failed and it shows green. Green light means that I'm moving to the next stage. I'm good. I'm clear. So this should also be highlighted red. And yes, saying that try again should be highlighted red also makes sense, but that's not actually compulsory. This blue try again is all actually good. It's telling you that, okay, this is a link. It's taking you back. But there can be an icon here saying going with an inverted arrow going back. But let's see what the designer did. Can you see that now? The red highlight was used here. And now a clear message saying, okay, your account creation failed because your email is already in use. It gave the reason why the account creation failed, and not just an error code that somebody does have to then copy to Google and start looking for the meaning of the error code. But by saying your email is already in use, it shows that this is the error. So with this error, all you need to do is log in, because you already have an account with us, or use a different email. Makes sense, right? I know. So let's move to the next one. Now look at this. Look at this here. This one is a bit tricky. It's a bit tricky to the eye also. But let me see if I have designers that their eyes have been well trained here. I told you, I'm training your eyes to become designers. So who wants to go? Lois, you are the first to raise your hand. So let's have Lois. We have 3 people on queue raising their hand. So let's Lois go first. If you still want to add, keep your hands up if you still want to add to what Lois has said, and I will call you after Lois. So Lois, talk to me.
Okay, so I think the rounded radius, the edges of the shapes, they are not equal. The register accounts, the rectangles, rounded corners. Yes, the rounded corners are not equal. One is very curved than the other.
Yes. Okay, that is actually correct. You got that right. the corner radius of the main frame is lesser than the corner radius of the register account, which is wrong. It's supposed to be the exact same corner radius if you want it to work, or even lesser. Like the button inside can be lesser, but not more. It's either the same or it is lesser. Do you get that now? Our eyes like to travel on a path that is predictable all around. So the way our eyes travel when we are scanning something, it likes to move on a path that is predictable. So when it sees this now, this will cause a bump on the road. So let's move to the next one. So look at this now. This is talking about clickable areas. Clickable areas, there is something about people with large thumbs on mobiles. Like now, if the clickable area of a close button is very small, it would be difficult for people with large thumbs to close such icon. Like let's say this close here now. This close here now. You can see that this is the X, and this whole side here is the clickable area. Can you all see my mouse? I don't know if you can, if you are seeing the window of my PDF reader here. Thumbs up if you can see. Okay, you can see it. All right, nice. Because that the clickable area is even beyond the icon. The icon is X here, but we have at least 2 pixels, 2 pixels, 2 pixels, 2 pixels all around as clickable area. You get that now? Same here for this. Same here for this. The clickable area is more than the icon itself. Both on web and on mobile, clickable area should be more than the icon itself. This one here is a terrible clickable area. You will have to place your mouse directly on top before it will click. Meanwhile, you'll be able to click at least 2 pixels away from it. You'll be able to click and still get it. So let's see the correction here. Can you see now? Even this is even way much better. This is all clickable. The text, the icon, and all these other spaces are clickable. Same with on mobile also. It makes it easier for those with large thumbs to click any buttons, even though you're on mobile or you're on web. You get that, right? Let's move to the next. The next one is about rounded corners again. So let's see if any one of us we catch the rema and give us a better figure for our rounded corner. Who wants to go? I like as you are contributing, it's making this interesting. So who wants to go again? Nobody? We have seen enough form field today for you guys to be able to tell me what
So,
we need to do here. All right. Is that
I think the enter your email and enter your password are too close to the left side. Maybe they should be centralized, be at the middle.
Okay. Okay. That's what Tafika said, but I'm not convinced yet. Zainab, go.
All right, sir. So for form fields, I feel their corners should not be 100% rounded, unlike that of the sign-in button. I feel the sign-in button should take the place of the rounded corner, while that of the email and password should just have slight rounded corners.
Yes, yes, yes. That is correct. If we will give it rounded corner to a form field, it should be very, very small, between 2 and 6. Depending on the size of that also depends on the size of the form field. And also they should both be aligned. Like there should be a perfect alignment. Look at this now. There should be a perfect alignment between the wordings and the beginning of the form field itself. Can you see? It makes sense now. This makes sense. This is like 2 pixel rounded corner, 2 to 4 pixel of rounded corners, and the texts are perfectly aligned to the beginning of the form field. Makes sense. It just gives it a perfect it's easy to the eyes and we can see it clearly. Okay, next one. This is the next one. Now, this is talking about font size. This is talking about font size. So what can you tell me about this? We have 3 different font size on this screen. We have font size 16, font size 12, and font size 32. Why is that a bad thing? Anybody, somebody?
The font size used for the email, enter your email, and the sign in are not the same.
Yes. So I'm asking, why is that a bad thing? All right, let Gladys pick it up from there. Gladys, I can see your hand
I
up.
think it's a bad thing because it makes you get so confused about how you'll fill in the form. I
Yes,
think
because
it will
right
have
now,
uniformity. Yes?
yeah, we are processing too much data in converting the size and everything. But at least 2 sizes is enough. But having 3 different sizes, it's a bit tricky. Can you see that now? 2 sizes. The email and the enter email are both font size 16. Then the sign-in 32. Perfect. As we are moving through this, we are still in the same zone. Just that the color, yeah, this email and this one is lighter. Like there's like a 20% opacity here compared to this. And this is bigger because it is the main sign-in button. So this section and this section, we're good. Let's move to the next tip. Now look at this. What do you think is wrong here? Look at this.
The font size used for the search is too small.
The font size used for the search is too small. Yes, because now we have to now start zooming to see what we are typing clearly or to type very well. Meanwhile, that problem could just have been solved by sticking to a much more acceptable font size that even, while we are on mobile, our phone is more closer to our face. But even if we have a font size, like we do not go less than, I think, though it's not a hard rule, there is no red line there saying this is the limit you can go, but most times I don't go less than 10. And 10 is for caption, like some items that are very, very tiny. That's where I splash 10. But anything other than that, we stick to 14, 16, 18, 24 sometimes for some bold text, 32 when we are being brazen and we are using our full chest to use our font. That's for headers, I mean. But do not go less than 16 for something like this because you'll be typing something there and you want to read what you have typed as the user. Now, look at this. This is like when you're designing for e-commerce. How can we make this look better? This look good already. No doubt about that. But how can we make it look better? Lois, shoot.
So where the like icon is it will confuse the people using the site. So if the like item comes down, it will be better.
Okay. Zainab, do you have something to add?
Yes, sir. I feel like why not replace the favorite icon with a cat icon instead?
Okay, that's this like icon, and it should be replaced with the cats. That's add to
Yes,
carts.
yes.
Okay. All right. Let's review the correction there. Yes, it is favorite, but the main reason why it is more confusing is because it's not we do not know what it is for. Are we just liking this as as I'm liking an Instagram reel, or am I adding it to my favorites? Now, most times I do not use like, or I don't use this art icon instead. Instead, I use asterisk. No, sorry, star. When you add it to your favorite, I use star. If I'm to do this, I will use star here instead of art, because art is we are more used to the social media version of art means like on Instagram, on TikTok, on Snapchat, on Facebook. This is the same. So seeing it here is a bit confusing, but having it and having star here shows that I'm adding an item to my favorite. And this one says I'm adding to the cart. Though an icon here would not be bad. It speaks volume when you add an icon here, as the cart icon saying add to cart. That works better. So let's move to the next one. Now, what do we see here? What do we see here? Remember, we are our reading culture is left to right. So how do you think we can best arrange this instead of how we have it here? Who wants to go? Why is nobody raising their hand? This is a simple arrangement, and we did it few slides ago. Okay, all right, go.
So the retweet should be on our right, and then cancel should be on the left.
Yes, because we read left to right. Now, having the retweet here, after we have seen this and we see this, we will now go all the way here. Oh, cancel. Oh, no. I want to retweet. I will not come back here. Nah. This is the primary button. Primary button should be to the left. If you notice, please, I told you guys in the early days of this class that take note of everything you use now. You will notice that the primary button are always kept to the left. They are always to the left. They are always to the left most of the time. That's where the primary button should be. Because that is the how we move when we are, sorry, to the right. Just to the left. Sorry. Primary button should be to the right, and the secondary button should be to the left. Primary button to the right, secondary button to the left, because we end our reading to the right. Our reading end to the right. We move our head from left to right, left to right. That's how we read, left to right, back to back. So when we do that, as we are moving towards the end, we're like, okay, this is what I want to do. Then you do it. But in case you now want to cancel, that is why that one should be to the right. It's a decision that is the secondary decision. It's not always the main thing to do. This is it. This works perfect. You move, you carry out your action, and you move on. Same thing with this also. Same thing with this also. In fact, there is an app that I currently use. I can't remember the name of the app again. And I'm always angry because their buttons are arranged like this. The main thing I want to do is always placed on top of the secondary thing, which always annoys me all the time. And it always makes me travel over and over again. Like I am always furious every time I get to that decision. I'm always like, all the time. And it's not like I've not learned, but I've been used to having buttons arranged in a certain way that every time it's not arranged the way I want it to be arranged. I'm a bit confused. Like, because most of the time I just move through things with muscle memory. Like I know what to do. I'm just moving, pap, 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 pap. So anytime I'm being called back, it's a bit frustrating. Like it's a bit annoying. So let's move to the next one. Now, this is vague at best. Who wants to go? Gladys.
I think having that arrow at the bottom after writing the name would be confusing because you'd prefer a button where it tells you what to actually do than
Yes.
just pointing to the next.
Thank you. The button should have a text attached to it at the least, or even no icon and ordinary text works fine. But if there will be an icon, let there be a text. It speaks volume. If there will be an icon, like if the icon will still have been used, then it should have says next, proceed, sign up, like, but this one just solves the problem. Create account. Like that's what we want to do. We understand, we move. Now, this is just so wrong. Like this is just too wrong. This will keep the user here for a minute. Why would would this keep the user here for a minute? Who wants to go? Zainab, shoot.
All right, so the retweet should actually be in the active state and not in an active state. I'm not in an inactive state.
Inactive, yes. The retweet should be active, like it should call itself out. It should be obvious, even if it should not be a full button, if it should just be an outline button, or just that's why you see that link text that are linked are always underlined. That way, it tells you that this is a link. This would carry out an action. Ordinary texts are not underlined, and they are always underlined, and they are always made in the color blue to show that they are active. Now, something is wrong here. Now, because this button is
capitalized, button is capitalized, everything.
Yeah, because the button is capitalized now, it makes you feel like there is a certain importance to it, which will slow you down because you have to be like, okay, something is wrong here. What is happening here? Why is it capitalized? Like, it will always call your attention and take you longer to process. Meanwhile, there is no big deal there. So using a title case is just perfect. A title case is enough. Capiche? We get the message and we move on. We have talked about something like this before. So who wants to go here? Lois.
It's the padding. The padding. There should be some.
Oh, I can barely hear you, Lois. Can you speak louder a bit?
Say it's the padding. There should be some space between the two buttons.
Is what?
The padding.
The padding. Okay, yeah. The spacing in between. The spacing in between cancel and this is almost non-existent. Like the spacing is almost non-existent because this is too close. It is on a mobile now. People with large thumbs can just want to click on this side and instead they click on this. So we should have like where they are intersecting here, it should just be placed side by side. Like, can you see that now? There is no overlap between them. There is like a 4-pixel padding around the both of them. Safe area, safe zone. So when you click on this side to press on request, you are not accidentally clicking on cancel. Make sense? I'm sure it does. Drop downs, yes. Drop down are supposed to be used for items that are a bit long, that are more than 5. That's where drop down actually works. Instead, just a list is good enough. So if you have drop down for this, like if you want to have a drop down, not for this, not for something like this. This is just a three decision: a dark mode, automatic, light mode. So why do we need a drop down? List everything out and let's just toggle between them. But if you have a longer item or a longer list of items, let's say you want to select countries now. Countries, we have over 300 countries in the world. Is that? Yes, over 300 countries in the world. So that you need a drop down for. Is it up to 300? My brain is, yeah, it should be up to 300. So next one now. You can see that this one now, we have fixed this. And for this is another way of arranging items that should be in a drop down also. If there are 3, this also works. Either you do this or you do this. It works all the time. It makes it easier for it makes it become an easy decision to make. Now look at these 2 fields now. They are not giving any hints. Like there's nothing inside of it telling us what to do. Gives us a sample of what to do. It makes it a bit difficult to know what we are trying to fill out. So when there's a sample inside, look at this now. It's saying it gives an idea of how the zip code should be. 2 digits here, 3 digits here for the zip code. Or a city, maybe an example of the city. You can say Lagos, Nigeria, or Lagos, or you can say Nairobi, Kenya. So having that, you know what you have to fill in here. It gives you an insight of what you have to fill. Now, this button, what do we think we can do different here? Anybody? I stopped talking so that somebody can raise their hand.
Sir, what's the question?
What this here? What do you think should be used instead of this?
Okay, I think the mark
There
button,
should
like
be
then a
a
mark
check button. Oh, sorry. You can go on,
Okay,
please.
we have 2 people
checkbox.
speaking simultaneously. Okay,
Okay.
yes. You are both right. A checkbox would have done a magic here. This is basically used to toggle. Like you are literally making a decision when you are doing this. Like you are saying on and off. This is a switch. So using a switch for this is wrong. Using a checkbox for this, like a radio button or a checkbox, works for this. So a switch is something like this: dark mode, light mode, dark mode, light mode. Like you are making a decision. It's on and off, on and off. So yeah, you were right there. Now this is another wrong use of it again. This is another wrong use of it again. So easily a radio button or a checkbox works perfectly in this case. So instead of having this is way confusing. This just works fine. Okay, someone talk to me here. I will not say this. You will have to arrange this for me. There's fire on the mountain here. Who wants to put out the fire? Gladys.
I think that the colors should have they shouldn't mix like that because they confuse, and then the texts are also going to confuse. Like the arrangement is bad.
Yeah,
Even the alignment of the I don't, not accept, and not the above, you can see even the boxes are not arranged well. They don't align. The text have different colors inside the boxes. It just doesn't match. So it can confuse.
It's just weird all around. Okay. Do we have someone somebody see have something to add to it? Like nobody?
So
Okay.
I think the red and green, right now we didn't know which one is the primary button and which one is the secondary. They are both catching attention. So the hierarchy with both colors are not matching. So one should at least have a secondary color and the other one should at least have a primary if you want to use colors.
Nice, 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 nice.
Okay, I
Okay.
also want to add something too.
Mary,
I think
okay.
the font size is also a problem. We have font size problem. We have the I don't know what to call it. Is it the alphabet? I don't understand why there's not in capital letters, and it's like it's just clashing. There's so much chaos on the screen.
Chaos. Use
It's
the
not
right word there,
arranged.
Mary.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is
There is
just
so much.
chaotic.
Yeah, it's
This is
just
just
chaotic.
chaotic.
So
Yeah.
there's so much issues. There's a writing moving from right to left. There's one moving from left to right. There's no balance on the screen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, what is this? Now, look at this. Compared to this, let me just zoom out. Let's place them side by side. Can you see? You can see that this is more aesthetically pleasing. Like the aesthetic here is just pleasing to the eye. Like we understand where we are doing, we know what to do. Everything is just aligned. Like everything is just perfectly aligned here. Every of our texts are left aligned. The hierarchy shows who is boss and who is secondary. The icon shows that yes, it is a positive vibe, positive feeling. And the person is just saying, okay, good to know. I accept. I'm cool. So compared to this, like there's no way you will see this and you will not clench your face. Like my face is actually squeezed right now. Like it's just squeezed, like nah, chaotic, as Mary said. Mary gave me the word I've been looking for in my head. There's chaos running around here, but yeah, yeah, this is nice. I'm smiling now. Okay, let's move to the next one. Alignment. This is about alignment. Looking at this at first, it looks just perfect. Like, yeah, let's align it center. That way, everything is centered and it's cool. But aligning it center means that this, and this would have irregular spacing because they are aligned center. But we could have actually managed the spacing better if we choose a different alignment. Now, let's see. Look at this now. This, and this have the perfect spacing. No irregular spacing anywhere because it is aligned to the top. Do we get that? Yeah, I'm sure we'll get that. Okay, let's moving on. We have talked about this. We talked about this earlier, or something related to this earlier. So I want someone to unmute and talk to us or raise their hand and talk to us.
Okay. I think on this we're having a slight issue. The text in the box and the text on top of it are almost the same color. There's no difference. So it's almost as if you are writing the same thing. The inside, just the ones on the inside supposed to look like an example, but sorry, but they are clashing again. They look the same. I think the text, the example should be faded. Number one, then okay. I think someone should add. I think that's what I have.
Okay. Yeah, that's basically it. But not about only it being faded also, the weight of the text also are almost the same. As in the text weights are almost the same. Now look at this now. Look at this now. Now, when you have typed, it can have the same weight when you have filled it. But before filling it, this is how it should look like. So, now, this one is filled. This one is not filled. So this is the example. This is the filled version. Unlike this, when we just have this, the example and the filled version are the same. Do you get that now? Yeah, I'm sure you will get that. So let's move on. We're almost halfway there. We're almost halfway there. I want to cover everything, but I'm not sure we can cover everything today. But we are meeting tomorrow again. I forgot to ask our coordinator if we can get the same time tomorrow for our meeting. Oh, my bad. But I will confirm that. I feel we can get 5 p.m. tomorrow also. So let's meet here 5 p.m. tomorrow. And tell me in the chat room if you will be here 5 p.m. tomorrow. We are 15 on call. That means myself plus 14 of you. So I expect to get 14 messages in the chat room confirming if they will be here, if they'll be available tomorrow or not. So let's cast our votes. The ballot box are out. Voting starts. 1, 2. I can try. Maybe don't try. Be here. 3, 4. I'll be here. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of 14. Okay. All right. Mary, I've changed you available. Thank you, Mary. Out of 14, we are still very low. Okay. South Africa will be here. So we are 5. We are 6 out of 14. 7 out of 14. We are halfway there. Where are the remaining 7 people? Are they not listening? Are they not here? Are they not actively here? The remaining 7 of us. Okay, Jen is here. Lovely is here. Okay. 5 to go. I want everybody to contribute. I want to know that we are all here. That we are all listening to me. I was just asking if you'll be here 5 p.m. tomorrow for class. Okay. 4 people to go. 3 to go. If everyone, did you get that now? Will you be here 5 p.m. tomorrow? Okay. Okay. Now, who are the remaining 2 people? And what took you so long to reply? Who has not replied? Brenda, will you not be here tomorrow 5 p.m.? I think Brenda and who? And user. Who is user? Okay, but at least I am sure that 12 of you will be here. That's okay for me. And please help me reach out to Agatha. I am missing her in my class already. All right, let's move on. Now, look at this. What is wrong here? This is very simple. Everybody should be able to answer this. Like every hand could be upset. But let's see. Raise your hand if you want to answer this. What is wrong here? This looks 100% perfect. In fact, I've seen most services that are like this.
There is no I toggle for the password. So what happens if the user wants to know what he has typed?
Yeah.
So I think there should be an I toggle for the password.
I toggle. Perfect. I toggle to view your password, to preview your password and know if you are right or if you've made a mistake. Yeah. See? Just this simple icon solves that problem. Just the simple icon solves the problem. I'm sure that we have all been there before. All right, what do we have here? So what do you think we should do here? In fact, it has been explained already, but what do you think we should do here? Who wants to go for this?
So do not show the requirement for a text field like after the person or the user has clicked the button. So whilst the user is typing the password, then you show the requirements for the password so that they can make the necessary correction before clicking the create account button.
Nice, nice. The requirements should be to be made available even before you type into the text field. Can you see this now? Now, this is even telling you that you've met one requirement and you have one more requirement to go. So this is how it should be. This one solves the problem and let everyone know what to do and when to do it. Moving on, the next one. We have another chaotic screen. What do you think we can do different here? Who wants to go for this?
The button is too big.
Obviously. It's too massive. It's not even big, it's massive. Okay. Okay, the button size. Now, look at this now. Look at this text. Look at the size of the text and look at this. Like even the UX copy. Now, UX copy, by UX copy, I mean the wordings here. We call it UX copy. We call this the UX copy. This UX copy is broken. We solve your problems. But this is about, look at this now. Solving your problem before you blink. The best problem solving solution, the best problem solving solution your problems ever encountered. Like the US copy it makes sense. It just speaks to you on a different level. Now, okay, let's do this. Okay, no. I'll do two more. Then we call it an evening or a night. Yeah, a night for some people. So let's do two more. So who can help me solve this? I need help. Anybody? Nobody? Zainab, okay, Zainab, let's go.
All right, so for the action which is coming more, it is not pronounced, like it is not giving the user an action. It is not giving the user. It is not telling the user to take an action.
Okay, yes. The information and the action. The information is shouting, but the action is too quiet. Like, now look at this now. The action just gets an upgrade by adding simple icon. The action makes more sense. Telling you that this button would give you more information. That is, when you click on this button, that arrow can be like it looks like a drop-down arrow when you are clicking on the drop-down menu, telling you that there are more information or there is more to see. There is more to this than it meets the eye. All right, let's move on. Now, this is almost doing the same thing as this, but the reason why it failed is because the arrow is not pronounced enough. Now, if we zoom out, we will see that the arrow is almost disappearing. So even if it's not there, we are good. Instead of it being there, it's better just not being there at all. If you cannot be there like this, like in your face. Now, this is for a drop down. This is for a drop down menu. So how do you think you can solve this drop down issue? It's a simple solution to the drop down issue that contains a whole lot of items on the list. What is the solution? A simple solution, a very simple solution.
Okay,
Come on.
can I say something? I feel they can be like a frame or a rectangular box with something like A to Z on it. Then you can just fill in. The list can be it can be hidden in. So you can, when you type like a maybe just the first letter like H, so all the H appears. I don't know, something like that.
Okay, yeah, that is like something like that. Yeah, you are on the path. That means you
It
should
can be a
also
search
make
button.
this. Okay, who is that? You should also make it
Me.
like a search box. So yes, it's a drop-down menu, but make it a search box also, whereby you can type. So you are looking for Kenya now. Instead of you scrolling all the way down to K, just type KE and Kenya comes out. What are the other countries that start from K? Why am I drawing blank now? There are like few countries that start from K, but all the countries that has K related to them pops up, and we can easily pick the one that is ours there. Okay. When you are loading lists, it's best to avoid empty screen with spinners. Spinners are actually good, but spinners can make you feel like, where am I going to? But this speaks more. It's like a skeletal view of the screen that is being loaded, or that would eventually come up, or that will eventually pop up. A skeletal view of that screen speaks volume compared to having a spinner. Look at this and look at this. We call it a skeletal view or a wireframe view. We are all familiar with wireframe, right? This is like the wireframe, the low fidelity wireframe of this high fidelity wireframe. Kabish? So on this note, let's call it an evening tonight, or a night. Let's call it a night, and we will get back when we do our work, whenever our class tomorrow, 5 p.m. tomorrow. Let's all meet here. It's gonna be fun. We'll all be meeting on Figma. So please, please, and please, I'm pre-informing you now. Join the call tomorrow on your laptop, not on your mobile, because we'll be having design along. Or you can join on your mobile, and we'll be on Figma on your laptop. So when you're seeing, but your mobile screen will be too small for you to see what I am doing. You can easily split your laptop screen into multiple screens. So like this now, you have a screen to the left and you have a screen to the right. You can have your Figma to the right and your PDF screen to the left. So that is what I often do when I am on something like this. So you can split your screen into two and have your call screen to the left and the other screen to the right. So that would make it easier for you to follow along on the design. Or if you have a tablet, but the main thing is join the call on your laptop or have your laptop at the ready. Am I making sense here? So on this note, I call tonight's class quit. Hope you have all filled your attendance. Tafika posted it earlier, so if you have not done that, kindly do that. Thank you for joining this call. Sorry about the last 2 days, that's Wednesday and Thursday, that I was not available. I'm back. So today, tomorrow, we will have more fun tomorrow. And hopefully, if you ginger me well tomorrow, we can still meet on Sunday again. I'm here for you for the weekend. So have a great evening. Enjoy the rest of your day and see you tomorrow. Ciao. Oh, cheers.